That's better. Holy shit. What an improvement. Why aren't you live, bro? Hey. Oh, cool. My Twitch stream's like an Eric Prydz set. No drops. That's cool. I got like fucking shit all over my face. I just ate a gnarly hamburger. Hang on. Cool. Okay, let me just, yeah. What's going on? Hey, holy shit, we're streaming. I don't believe it. Let me just find some shit here. It says one viewer. Okay. One sec. I'll just make sure this is good. Right. That's me. Oh, we gotta get some light in here, right? It's fucking dark. Your stream is shit. I know it's shit. Man, you type hard. Could you move your mic away from the keyboard? No, I can't. It's actually attached to the camera. I haven't even, I gotta set up the TriCaster so that I can actually use a dedicated encoder to send stuff. Know what I'm saying? Mechanical keyboard, yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, and then since the wireless works and all that shit too, I could take the cameras anywhere really. I just have it set up in this room, and I got a Logitech like one of those C10 shit cams. Oh, fuck. I'm just glad it works. Right? Like 20 years later, 4 permits later, 12 salamanders had to die during the construction of the tower. But we're good. We got it up. So right now, I guess what you're seeing in the on my Twitter feed, I was outside like fucking around taking pictures of it. The tower that's up there is like a temporary one just to get this up and running and test it and all that shit, and it seems to actually work, which is cool. And then in the next like 2 to 3 weeks, I think they're gonna come put like a permanent base down there and then construct the finished tower. And then when that happens, we get I got to get a guy back down into the server room at the house, which is like an absolute shit show in terms of like you know, the switches and routers that we're using, but it's working, so I don't give a shit. And we're gonna clean it up because before we hit the router, I'm actually getting 50 megabit, but then after we end up fucking going through the router and everything else in the house and all my internal server stuff is like choking it down a bit. But we'll tighten it up when we get the good tower in, and then I'll probably just be 100 up, 100 down for now and see how good it is. It should be good. And then I can broadcast pretty high, I guess, and then everyone's happy. What's medium? High, low, mobile. Let me try high. One sec. I don't even know what this does. What is it doing? It's not doing anything. How's Milton? Oh, cool. Looks way better on high. Well, whatever. I don't care. I'm not watching myself. Milton's cool. It's all right. It's not a whole lot going on. It's just what I like. Oh my god, it's so nice to actually have internet now. Now I can upload those fucking coffee runs. Dude, I got like 3 coffee runs. I'm sitting down ass. Like, I couldn't upload because I didn't have the fucking bandwidth to put it up. But now I do. That's good. Hang on, I just flip over to Twitter real quick. Dude, you look so old. Thanks. Do a house tour on Twitch. I can't yet, but I will. I could do a mobile one, yeah. But I'll wait until I'm sure this is all working. 1 versus 1 CS:GO. Okay, let's see. Anyway, make a track, dude. I'd love to make a track, but like I'm actually, I don't know if you can see, but I'm in a, yeah, you can't see shit. I can get some better light in here, and this is like a home theater, and I just totally took it over and set up just a desk with a keyboard here and some shit just to get stuff working so I can check emails, post tweets, and listen to some things when I'm allowed to download them. So I don't have like any of my rack gear or my synth set up and all that shit. No point building a studio in here until the one upstairs we're constructing like a good control room kind of thing, and that's where all the gear is going to live and all that stuff. So the streams will be a lot better there too. And then in a couple of weeks, we have NVIDIA coming back to the house again. We've already had one visit from, you know, a handful of dudes over at NVIDIA came to the house, and we're working on a really fun project, hence the tower and all that, the streaming capabilities and stuff. So we're going to do some pretty rad shit with those guys, that's for sure. I don't want to get too into it, but you'll see it'll be pretty cool. And we're going to essentially, what I can say is that we're going to have a stream up, like a programmed fucking stream, do it right. I'm going to staff it and we'll do it right and really cool. So that's going to be fun. What else is new? Whole bunch of shit. Where is I got my brother's trying on Snapchat. Oh my god, that'd be awesome. Having a King Kong on my tower. That's funny, I'm gonna retweet that. No. Seems like years since you last streamed. Well, no, it's only been like what, 3 months, 4 months? That's okay, that's acceptable. I can disappear off the face of the fucking internet for a whole couple months. I'm allowed. Anyway, this is amazing. This is so good. Let's get a speed test. Yeah, my speed test is like 20 up, 20 down. Because we're not going crazy with the speed until we get the final tower like poured in its foundation and lifted up and all that stuff. again, this is like a temporary solution, but it's a solution nonetheless, and I'm grateful for that. But seriously though, like, fuck, man, internet out in the middle of fucking nowhere is not easy to do. So I gotta thank the guys at Broadband Solutions, man, and they came through, dude. Because this isn't like Bell or Verizon or any of those other fucking assholes who show up to my door with a USB stick and say, "Here, plug this in, and it'll be good." Yeah, thanks, guys. Big help. So whatever. I mean, I'll still use their services from my phone line that I never fucking use, and the TV that I never watch. But actually, Broadband Solutions came through, and they're a private company based out of Milton. And what we're doing, because I'm not really in Milton, I'm like kind of Milton's snobby neighbor. And the reason for the tower is you have to clear the tree height. So since I live out in the woods, we got a lot of fucking tall trees, as you can imagine. And we got to build a tower that goes over those trees to get like a perfect line of sight to Milton and this company's kind of relay station. So we beam a connection just between me and them, and that's it. And that's how that works. So I'm sure a lot of you nerds out there know exactly what I'm talking about, but just so people don't know, it's a pretty cool thing. So that's fun. And also, if you guys want to ask any questions or talk some shit or talk about my thigh gap and any other cool shit, just tweet it, to be honest. I mean, the Twitch chat's cool and all that shit, but I can't really follow it. All the sandstorm. So yeah, we'll just shoot the shit on there, and we'll figure it out. So I'll probably stream for the next hour or so until I have to go out and look at that car again. I slept in the garage last night, I'm not gonna lie. What was that sound? Oh. It's my chair. Oh, great, here come the tweets. Are you gonna play any games? Yeah, I can play Diablo whenever. I mean, that'll work. I'm using OBS here just to get something out, so we can get into that in a bit if you want. I've actually defected in Diablo. I'm no longer using a wizard. I'm all about the fucking demon hunter now. So I've defected. Are you excited to play Governor's Ball this year in New York? Oh my god, am I ever, dude. We've been working with a guy, I won't even say who he is because then you guys are going to Google him and then it's all going to go to hell. But I've been working out with a guy on a new stage production, and it's kind of like this intermediate stage production that I can take out like now. Basically, we're going into rehearsals for the next show immediately after the Gumball, which is great because we rented rehearsal space out in Vegas because everything's cheap in Vegas. And that's where the Gumball ends. So as soon as I'm done with the Gumball, I'm going to go straight into rehearsals for Governor's Ball, Bonnaroo, all these festivities that I'm doing. So that's going to be awesome. And yeah, so we're making like a unique stage build for just this run of shows, and then what's going to happen after that is when I start to go on like the solo ticket tour, which is going to be just, you know, a Deadmau5 show kind of arena thing, or however the fuck it goes. I don't really have too many details on that yet, but you will be using like super upgraded versions of that. It's just that, you know, I can't say that, oh yeah, I'm working on this massive new fucking production, but you have to take into account that when you play like festivals and shit like that, you're going to have two different setups from that and a solo show, because at a festival you can pre-install some shit, but you can't be invasive to, you know, other acts that have to play the same fucking stage, and you're only looking at like maybe 20 or 30 minute changeover times, and that's it, you know. And like I'm really, you know, obviously like what we would do, as some of you guys know, is like we'd, you know, tuck the cube over in the back, but we would hang the X truss up top so that, you know, and then when it was my turn, they just bring down the X truss and roll the cube out. So you got to be, you know, respectful for the other artists playing on the stage, unless it's an EDM festival, because fuck those guys. I'll just take the whole back LED wall and say, fuck you, you can't fucking use it. Yeah, I'm putting my cube here. Like, how much space do you need for a fucking picnic table? Anyway, I'll tell you how I really feel. But but Bonnaroo and Governor's Ball and all that, all these fucking awesome festivals and shit. I'm gonna go the route of like we pre-install some shit and stuff like that, so everyone gets their cool production up and shit like that, and everyone plays happy. So stage, the point of the story is stage productions for festivals, like again, are really scaled down so they can like roll it up and you're good to go. So you got to sacrifice some things and all that shit. But at the end of the day, I think the design that me and this designer came up with are pretty fucking cool, and it'll be great. So I'm like super excited about that. We've been working on that for a while. So I mean, it was actually kind of good that I didn't have internet for a bit, because I'm actually getting shit done. I know it doesn't look like it, because I can kind of see it from your guys' point of view that he's just jerking off to hentai and fucking running around in cars. But dude, I've been so fucking slammed with stupid stage design, show design. We got an Entropy, which I'm still not telling you shit about, but it's going to be awesome. Yeah, a lot of things going on, man. So it's been a minute. Okay, I'm gonna roll back to Twitter here and read up some questions. All right. Does the new festival setup you're talking about on the stream apply to Veld this year too? Yeah, actually, I think it will. It'll be a little bit better version of it, because Veld, I get a little more leeway in terms of productions. Oh, glad you could join us there, Neelingtons. Just have a seat. Yeah, I'll have a little more forgiveness in the terms of what I can and can't bring, kind of thing. So Veld, it'll be that similar stage kind of thing. But I think the concept's cool enough, and yeah, it's cool. It's different. Gonna have some really neat things up there. So let's see. Teasing Entropy by not saying anything. Yeah, well, you know why? Because fuck you. That's why. You'll see. Man, I don't know. You know what? Like, I don't even care. But like, I say, okay, this is what Entropy is, and then everyone's gonna be like, oh. But I'm excited about it, because it's just a project that I'm really involving myself in, and it's just gonna be really cool. What do you think about Madian's new album? Actually, I haven't had a chance to hear it, but I'm sure it's fine. I mean, it's Madian. He's a talented little French dude. P1 for Gumball this year? Fuck, of course, dude. Who buys a car and doesn't drive it? Every day so far, except for today. It's kind of rainy a bit over here, but yeah, man, I've just been down the 401, go to Tim Hortons, grab a cup of Tim Hortons, come back, and then one of my buddies comes over. He's like, "Oh, I want to see the car." I'm like, "Cool, let's go get coffee." Get in it, down the 401. Talk about TIDAL. TIDAL's a streaming service. TIDAL is a streaming service. Streaming service is a music streaming service, so it's not the be-all, end-all of my many ancillaries, because there's more than one streaming service out there, but the one TIDAL is kind of something I agree with in terms of artist-controlled content. I mean, it's not the be-all, end-all of your life. It's not the be-all, end-all of my life, but it's just something I believe in. And if you're not your bag, then fine. If it is, great. But to be quite honest, I'm not allowed to talk about it because of my Illuminati status. Whatever. But how awkward was that? I want to know who the evil genius was that stuck me beside Kanye and Madonna. Surely they knew I was coming, and they knew they were coming too, and they thought, "Oh man, I got a fucking wicked idea. Let's stick that Joel dude." I was. It's funny. We actually exchanged some words up there while we were standing up there off mic. It was pretty funny. I think Madonna said something like, "Oh, we should do something crazy," and I think she was like talking to Kanye, but I can't fucking tell what's going on half the time with the mouse hat on. And then she said, "Oh, we should all do something crazy," and then Kanye was like, "Nah," and I was like, "Dude, this is," I said, "This is fucking awkward enough as it is," and I think I actually got a laugh from Kanye out of that one. So, and then that was it. Yeah, but you know what? Like, I'll agree with everyone else. That really did look a little awkward, eh? I mean, like, get fucking 16 billionaires or whatever up on a stage talking about a streaming service that benefits artists. Yeah. Dude, I'm on the same fucking page with you, but like, it's not that is the my fucking that's the hook. That's what'll get everyone over on the title. It's more about, you know, just me having, you know, control over my content. It's really not that big of a deal. Um, I feel like I have a completely different personality about it on Twitter than I do actually in real life, because it's just, it is what it is, you know. Yeah. So we got this like secret handshake down and all that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Actually, I think I was the poorest motherfucker on that stage. I think like Donald's like 800 million, everyone's like fucking a billion or whatever, and I'm like that. Oh yeah, EDM token EDM guy. I got nothing on Daft Punk in terms of sales. Holy shit. Yeah, I was definitely the broke kid. But whatever. Moral of the story is TIDAL for me is just as simple as it fucking is. It's just artist controlled shit with no major label bullshit. I mean, like company. Well, I don't want to get too into it because I don't want any fucking, you know. Well, of course it's gonna happen. It might as well anyway. Some blog's gonna be fucking watching this and he's talking. I gotta write about it. It's more like uh, to me, like I said, I'm more about, you know, in control of, like, you know, where my shit's going, where the money's going, and I know all that stuff. And with TIDAL, you know, especially when you have stake in it, I guess, you know, you got a good head around it. But companies like Spotify and shit like that, fucking dude, all the majors own that shit, you know, and the majors don't necessarily account properly to the fucking artists. That's a problem I've been having for the last 5-6 years with fucking EMI, dude. I've had to audit that company so many fucking times just because they don't know how to account. They don't know how to report shit like YouTube money. Ugh. It's like, fuck, man, dude, it's not hard to, you know, talk to your artists' fucking shit so that, you know, any kind of money's generated by the shit I did, by the way, EMI, not you, you know, and got out and put out like through socials or whatever. So and that's why I kind of did the live.deadmau5.com, which, you know, I'm going to be very active on as well. You know, it's like you know, it's the fucking label doesn't even fucking know half the time I'm putting my shit up there, and you can, if you got a membership fee of, you know, whatever, like, you know, monthly or yearly or whatever, but you're downloading all this music that I release otherwise, because I just fucking upload it up there myself. Like, I literally click the file, put it up, and then just stick it up there and let you fucking download a lossless quality. Fucking EMI wouldn't know what the fuck to do to come after you know, a percentage of whatever, and if they did, I'd shut them the fuck up, you know. Yeah. Business, music business. Boy, do you learn a lot when you sell shit. Flawless jerk stroke 8-8, mate. Thanks. I got my technique down, dude. I got 34 years experience of that. This, I love this. Please shut the fuck up on your dumbass live studio chatting so my boyfriend can give me his attention again. Pwned. How was Daft Punk? Daft Punk's cool. I mean, I like, again, I can't slate the fucking guys. I mean, they do shit. They put in work, and they've got a really cool brand, and you know, some really great music out there and stuff like that. So it's like, great. You know, it's not like we're up there like fucking button heads going, hey. But you know, like it was kind of funny because we had a shared dressing room, and I accidentally walked in on them, like, you know, getting in costume and shit, because they said, "Oh, your dressing room's over there," but nobody told me it was theirs too. So I went in like just trying to get a water or something like that, and they were all there, and I was like, "Oh, hey, sorry," yeah, and then I left. But I mean, you know, like I don't do small talk, and I don't like, "Hey, so you touring?" I fucking hate that. Like, dude, you know, I don't need to be your best buddy. I just shook their hands and went, "Hey man, hey, cool," and just went on my merry fucking way. You know, if you don't really know a person, I don't talk to them. Like, it's annoying. So it's like, you know, I won't throw out any names today or anything, but it's, you know, sometimes you're at a festival, you're backstage, and then another act will come up to you, "Hey man, so what do you think of this place?" Yeah. You know, or so how's the tour going? Uh, Good, I guess. I mean, yeah. How about them local sports team? Yeah, it's good home run the other day. That was, yeah. Thanks. All right, I'm gonna go over there. that was less awkward than I thought, just because I know better than to fucking suck myself into. All right. What do you think? I'm not gonna answer that. Breaking news: Deadmau5 talks about how awkward it is. It works with 16 billionaires. Yeah, right. Whatever. Hey Joel, what computer languages do you know? 3D effects software. I've read that you did a lot of web dev and stuff back in the day. Yeah, so right. The shit I do know now is so fucking outdated that it's not even useful anymore. It's like I know a bit of ActionScript too, and Java. Java's very the same. The Houdini scripting, Python. It's all pretty much the same. But the thing I found about figured about like scripting for web and Flash and stuff like that. I basically kind of flopped off the face of the web dev earth when CSS was like starting to come of age and stuff like that. And I was like, I just don't get it. I think I'll just go make music. But you know, like you get a handle of it. You don't have to know. You know, you only need to know really like one or two basic ass fucking languages, and then everything is just kind of just more learning. So yeah, I mean, no fucking coding genius by a long shot, shit. But I can figure it out pretty quick, just not efficiently and writing really nice code. Mine's usually pretty dirty. What? Yeah, if you could, please. Thanks. Yeah. Cool, my car's back. Yay! I had to put my summer tires back on the 650 because summer. I had winter tires on it. Can you believe that shit? Even the guys at the dealership, they're like, "You're putting winter tires on this?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, bro! I'll drive this shit in the winter." And I did. Didn't crash it. That's good. Bought any new synths? No, not lately. Since I'm trying to get a hold of Ken Macbeth's new one, the Element, but fucking Ken won't get back to me. So I guess I'll have to buy it off Analog Haven then. So much for direct to customer shit. Deadmau5 is the Kanye of EDM. Okay. Are you sure Kanye isn't the Kanye of EDM? I wouldn't second guess that within the next 6 months. Who do you hate most in the EDM world? Oh man, that's a really hard one because there's just so many of them, you know. Besides making music, how would you recommend promoting independently? Yeah, that's the thing too, you know. Getting started as an independent artist, I mean, I could fucking tell you all about it. I was exactly fucking that. You know, I wasn't scooped up by Tiesto and piggybacked onto the stage of Ultra, and all of a sudden I'm a fucking superstar. You know what I mean? Like you gotta do some work. Shit, you know, like I say this to a lot of guys. Maybe I might have said it in some previous streams or something like that, and I know I might have said it in person, you know, a conversation that didn't fucking suck that I actually could stick around with and give someone some beneficial advice. But, you know, as an independent artist, and by independent artist, I just mean, you know, like a guy that fucking makes music that isn't signed to a major and fuck, you know, nobody knows you from their ass in a hole in the ground. The kind of key thing you got to realize, especially with the fucking, you know, in this age now, I started out kind of at a time when, you know, the internet was just kind of coming out, you know, coming into age in terms of not like, oh, the internet. I mean, Netscape's always been around, but like, the internet is such a fucking vestibule for, you know, promotion and Twitter and social networks and stuff like that. Like, I probably started making music just before the MySpace boom, so there really wasn't anything like that. Like there was mp3.com, which lasted like, you know, a year or two or whatever and stuff like that, but there were no huge, you know, there wasn't a lot of media coverage on that kind of thing. So I never had to do that, and I think that worked out in my favor because when you're starting out, you know, you have to realize that, you know, you want to make music for, you know, people, you know, not for the fucking internet, not for blogs, not for all this other shit. So I think that if I had to do this again in today's climate, at least with all this shit, I would really focus on being very offline. I know it sounds fucking crazy, but there comes a point where you do get online in terms of like I've got this fan page and I've got this Facebook that's got all these followers and shit like that. But I mean, don't take your music, and go to a fucking nightclub, meet a DJ, go to a radio station. Like it's still old school as fuck, and I'm probably gonna sound old school as fuck, but honestly, connections made in person are a million billion times more valuable than a fucking spam link, or an email or a demo or a so you really need to like do a lot of fucking groundwork. And I'll tell you, actually, you know what? That's how I kind of found out about Sonny. Now I didn't invent fucking Skrillex. Skrillex invented fucking Skrillex. There's no doubt about that. And I mean, his sound from Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites was the same before we even fucking put that album out. So that was kind of one captivating thing. But Sonny came to he was in person. He came to an event like me and Tommy Tommy Lee crashed some random fucking hard party out in LA. I don't think we performed. I think he asked us to perform and I couldn't. But we were just in the neighborhood and we're like, fuck it, let's go to this party. I know Gary, no. And then we were all sitting backstage and then Tommy said, oh, hey, you got to meet this kid, Sonny. He makes some music and whatever. And then Sonny came in and he delivered me actually the fucking Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites on a fucking USB key, And I was like, oh, cool, and I'm more likely to take that fucking piece of hardware and make that, physical connection. Well, he seems like a normal fucking kid, a little fucking wacky, and yeah, and he kind of has his head around the music thing because he's done it with his previous endeavors with From First to Last kind of thing. But that was a personal connection, and and then I took that back and milled over it for a while, and now fucking Skrillex, right? Like, took him on tour for a while and, introed him out, shared what I thought was cool at the time, and then all of a sudden the kid's fucking running laps around me, and I'm like, all right, off you go, back to Big Beat. Or Alza, however you please. So, like that's kind of cool shit. So, the moral of the story is if Sonny just fucking emailed me links and posted SoundCloud stuff and all that shit, I would never have fucking found that shit, And it's not necessarily about appeasing one guy or getting a just hammering at shit. So my start was really like going to okay, here. I'll give you. I got a minute, so I'll give you my life story. So when I was growing up in Niagara Falls, I found out about electronic music and all that stuff through like, friends and shit like that were into it. And I went to a couple like small little raves and shit like that and thought, wow, this is kind of neat. I want to get into this. And then, I get home, get on America Online or whatever the fuck, and hit up some GeoCities pages to how do you make electronic music. And I mean, now fuck, luckily for you guys, there's all this fucking shit out there that just basically shits out a fucking EDM tune for you. Back then computers weren't even capable of recording 16-bit audio, so fuck you all. Like in that kind of thing. So I started out with like really simple shit. So there were programs like totally ancient DOS programs called trackers and stuff like that just made like chiptune sounding shit. So I got into that and I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like nothing I hear on the fucking radio because, they use equipment, they use synthesizers and all this shit. So I had to investigate this shit. So I just, in my infinite fucking wisdom, figured I'd go to the nearest, our local big computer store that, is like a mom and pop shop kind of thing, but they specialize in building computer systems for consumer use, basically. And it was, funnily enough, it was called Cyberdyne Systems, and it was in Niagara Falls. And I went there and I said, hey guys, anyone, you guys know anything about electronic or making music with a computer kind of thing? And they were like, well, yeah, we know some things, but I mean, none of us are fucking producers or anything like that. And the owner of the shop kind of came around and overheard the conversation and said, well, maybe you want Cakewalk. That's a really high-end thing. And it really was at the time, trust me. Cakewalk and Cubase were like the two fucking things. She was like, oh yeah, you want Cakewalk and this and that, and I was like, oh wow, okay, great. So I went over there and started thinking about that, and I'm thinking, wow, Cakewalk's like, 300 fucking bucks, which might as well be fucking what a billion is to me now, Um, and as it turned out, because I made that human connection, and like I said, this is going to keep tying into my point. As I made that human connection, that human interaction, that actually get off the fucking internet and go do shit thing. Now Adam says, well, hey, we're a bunch of DJs, and by DJs I mean they were like DJs. They had vinyl turntables and all that shit because fuck, Pioneer wasn't even on the fucking market at that time, or whatever. Besides the point. So he says, "Oh, we're DJs, and we get some guys, some hip hop guys from Rochester and another DJ from Niagara Falls, and we put together this radio show." And I was like, "Oh wow, that's really cool. Can I?" He's like, "Hey, we're gonna tape the show, and you should come by and just fucking hang out, And then that's what I did. I hung out. I was the fucking kid that just sat in a fucking chair and watched these guys fucking DJ, right? Now, I knew that none of them were making music. They were just putting together a show, and then Adam was showing me that, I'm going to use, oh God, I can't remember the name of half the applications he used, but, he would record it in SoundForge or something like that, and then how he'd burn it to a CD and all that stuff, and how he edits in commercials and shit like that, and that just got me sparked, and I was like, oh shit, that's so cool. So of course, every week these guys would produce this show, and I would go in and hang out and watch them fucking do it, and that's it. It's just being there, It's not even like hard to figure out how to make these kind of connections, but and you're there long enough, they all become your buddies or whatever. I mean, of course, I'm like fucking 15 years old or whatever, but it was still really cool, and it as the years went by, like I mean, it was like another year or 6 months or something like that, then all of a sudden I realized, like, hey, Adam would say, I gotta go do this fucking thing for this customer, because he still runs a fucking mom and pop computer shop kind of thing, and he's like, can you just, edit this commercial in for me? And I was like, oh, okay, well, I fucking, I've seen you a million fucking times and do it, so I can fucking do that. And then I fucking go in and I do that, right? And then it just became such a thing that, I was so there and active and involving myself in that process all the time, where it was like, hey, I'm just going to come to the shop and dick around with some of the fucking computers upstairs in the studio and make some music. And then another one of the DJs from that kind of operation where they had that radio show said, hey, I'm going to go open up a record store, and I'm going to build a studio in the back and all this stuff. And I'm like, fuck, sounds good to me. So, skip fucking school and go hang out at a record shop, right? It's like fucking every kid's dream when you're 16, But this is what, I don't really necessarily feel too bad about it, but actually what happened was I spent so much time in that fucking studio learning shit and downloading stuff and putting together things and learning to make music and all that stuff, that I was like, you couldn't get me out of that fucking studio. Like, my mom would be calling, like, where's Joel? You gotta come home. No, and then it would be like, of course when you're around 17, 18, none of that shit applies. So literally I would pull all-nighters in there and just dick around in the back of the record shop. Well, they were like more DJs, you know what I mean? So they would go, to the nightclubs, play records, whatever, and sold records inside the shop, and that was like kind of the furthest point of their aspirations in music business, you know what I mean? But I was kind of that, plus I was producing or learning to produce. I didn't churn out a fucking tune in the first 6 years of my like kind of just hanging out and learning about electronic music and the scene at the time. And I'm like, forgive me, like, but I have a lot of younger viewers here who are like 18 to 24, but I'm talking like, when Chemical Brothers and Left Field and Armand Van Helden and the Cassius and shit, Bomb Scare, all those old fucking house records and shit were like selling physical and shit like that. So that was around that time is when I was dicking around. So I fucking, just hung out and fucking did that. And I think it weirdly, not weirdly enough, came to a point where I was kind of superseding everyone in terms of how to do something, So, some of the guys from the record shop would be like, I have to put together this commercial, and I don't know fucking how to do this trick or this thing or make a jingle or whatever. I just record the show and fucking slap it on a CD and drop it off at the radio station. I was like, well, fuck here. You know what I mean? So I kind of outpaced everyone in terms of technology. And then, the record shop then got a little bit tired, and, I kind of hit my bottleneck there where it's like, well, now what? What do we do? It's like, fuck. And unfortunately, the record shop closed, and I had to figure life out again. So I basically living at home thinking, shit, well, fuck, now I'm fucked. So then what happened is, I got some jobs. I worked in a cannery, fucking peeling peaches and pears, which I will never eat to this day. I still will never eat another peach or another fucking pear. Every time I smell one, see one, or whatever, it just drives me fucking bonkers because that job was so horrible. Working at a cannery, I don't wish that on fucking Garrick's, dude. It was bad. So I fucking, scrounged up enough fucking pennies to buy my own 486 and, put that in my bedroom, and I was like, oh, fucking great. Now I don't have to schlep all the way downtown to the studio or the record store anymore and drive my parents insane or fucking whatever. I can just do this shit from home. And then that's when I really had a lot of time to, focus on my shit and fail high school and get yelled at by my mom and my dad to get a real fucking job. And all that, dude, it happens to everyone. I don't care who the fuck you are. And then what happened then? Yeah, fuck the pears, dude. I was like, fuck pears. Timeline. I'm just trying to remember my past here. So, yeah. So then I'm, I've got this computer in my bedroom, and I'm like, well, okay, mom, dad, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm not going to be a fucking EDM or fucking rock star when I'm older. So let's start thinking about plan B here. Learn to do web development, like GeoCity shit, nothing amazing, and then and then Flash. And Flash actually was really helpful to me because when it came out, it was like every website in the world had a. Hang on one sec. Yes. Okay. All right. See you later. It's in the top garage. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Is it locked or is it shut? Yeah, it's closed, and I'll close the gate on the way out. All right. Okay. Thanks. No problem. Bye. Oh, is Kelly here? No, she's not gonna be back till late. She said, but like. The fuck's she doing? Sort of oh, all right. Okay. So, like I said, Flash came out, and every corporate website fucking had a Flash intro. It was the craziest fad I've ever seen, and that was the worst. I had like a tickle in my throat. Oh, it's still there. God, I'm gonna die. All right, I'm good. Anyway, a Flash comes out, and Flash, of course, as you know, supports audio. So there are some like guys. Jesus fuck, that's gnarly. I've never had that happen before. Just hang on. Smoking's probably not optimal. Right. One sec. I'm okay. You're gonna die if you keep smoking. I'm gonna die anyway. Like, it's another 10 years. when I'm 80, you know? Probably wanna die at that age. Okay, so Flash started, audio, blah, blah, blah. So there were some companies that actually were music libraries, like online music libraries that web developers could go to, license music off their shit, and then royalty free, you know, and put that music in their Flash intros and on their website and stuff like that. So I found this one company in Palo Alto or Fremont, somewhere in there. Oh, Fremont, yeah. And the company was called like Killer Sound, and what they were is an online sound library where you could go. If you're a company or a web developer and you want to have music that isn't like fucking Billy Ray Cyrus, who's going to sue you for putting him on his website or me or whatever. And he ran this massive library, but he also had like a little army of dudes like me who just sat at home and wrote music randomly and put it out online or whatever. And I approached him. I said, hey, of course I fucking blew smoke up his ass. I'm a composer from Niagara Falls. I make electronic music, sort of, and I'd like to, be a part of this thing. And he was like, oh, cool. So, I gave him some loops and tracks and stuff like that for him to sell on his site. And they did okay. Like, didn't fucking, blow his company up or whatever. But he, it stood out in his library, and a lot of guys were like, licensing my stuff because, electronica was just kind of starting before anything it's like now. But, so a lot of like car wash companies or fucking God knows what were like, oh yeah, I want an electronica sound on my website or whatever, So that's what I did, and it stood out. And then, I would get a little, nothing massive, just a little paychecks here and there from this company that shared some of the dividends and profits from purchases back to the artist. So I was like, oh wow, this is like almost a full-time fucking job. This is what I want to do with my life. I want to make music and fucking sell it to companies or commercials or film, or make my own music. God knows what. This is me. So and again, we're talking like a span of like 7 years. It's not like all this shit just happened one week, next week, and the week after that. Like, it took a while, dude. So that was kind of my job for a little while too, is developing music for music libraries. But all the time I was doing that, as shitty as it was, and in comparison of what I'm doing fucking now, I'm learning. You know what I mean? Like, I'm learning this, I'm learning that. I'm fucking new software comes out, I'm on top of it and all that shit. So it's like, you're just sharpening the fucking knife, and you're getting fucking paid for it too. So there's so many ancillary markets in music creation that you don't have to fucking put out an EDM banger to make $1 million fucking bucks a year. You really don't, I mean, it helps, but you don't need to fucking worry about that shit, because you'll get there, because you're not gonna fucking get there. Well, at least at the time, I wasn't going to get there, because they didn't have Fruity Loops and woodblock samples. Right? So, had to work at it, unfortunately. So, that shit just happens. And like I said, you do that for long enough, you practice, you learn things that, you impress yourself. Like, holy shit, wow, last year I didn't even know how to fucking do this thing, and now I'm already, like, learning about mixing techniques and stuff like that, and just accumulating like a fucking sponge. That's so important, to just take in information, not watch tutorials and fucking how to make fat beats, and fucking watch shitty fucking EDM artists who fucking jerk themselves off on future music about, oh, and here's how I put together a beat. No, fuck that. You gotta do that shit, because that's how you learn. That's how you make you. You know what I mean? Not you fucking clone the fucking clone of a clone, that's really important, and that's something I can hear a mile of fucking way, especially when I'm, just out and about scouting, like, who do I want on my fucking label, and same goes for everyone else and every other semi-major indie label. So the thing too, after that, is when it kind of became practical, where I thought, oh, okay, well, I can make music, I can make money, all right, and I can learn. Great. But, you're obviously, like, well, I have no equipment. I'm not making hundreds of thousands of dollars, so I can't buy fucking this crazy equipment that, you know, is the fucking unicorn or the holy grail of synth, or this cool mixing console, or this audio card. You know, it was all just a little out of reach. So again, there you go. Get on your fucking bike, go outside and fucking meet people, you know, and then I go to a studio, like a recording studio that had, you know, maybe $500,000 worth of fucking gear and shit that I could never fucking hope to own, and, you know, whatever, shit like that. And I met a guy named Dean Malton, who was a mixing engineer and a studio owner. Funnily enough, the studio just so happened to be, you know, a couple blocks away from my house in an industrial park. And did what I do, you know. I went in, hey, dude, I make electronic music. I know it's not your fucking area, but, you know, I just like to hang around and check shit out, you know, like, and just sit in on a couple sessions, learn a couple things, you know. I'm not gonna fucking tell you to pay me or anything, you know, because I won't be doing anything, but just go be a fucking intern, be a fucking coffee guy, you know, whatever. Just whatever gets you in that fucking room, because sooner or later, the opportunity for you to use all this shit you've been fucking learning is gonna come up, like, almost instantly, you know. So I get in there, and I see this guy. He's using a 60 or a 32 channel Hill console. I'm sure maybe some percentage of you know what that is. It's just like a big mixing board, basically. The thing Garrix uses as a fucking laptop stand. That thing. But a Hill one, not a SSL. So I go in there, and he's got that and 3 DA88s, right, which are a digital tape. Basically, so, you know, all the summing from the mix that he does on this big console goes into these tape machines. And like I said, the opportunity came up for me to go, hey, you know, you can do all that shit in the box now, eh? You don't even need the DA88s. You could actually dump all the stuff that are on all those little fucking tapes and put them on a fucking computer and see it on a fucking screen. He's like, really? Yeah. And I mean, like I said, the computers were just coming of fucking age to be able to fucking do that at that time. We're talking like, you know, 97, 98. And, you know, he was just like, he's an old guy. He's a tape guy, you know. So I was just like, yeah, man, fucking, yeah, you can totally do this on a computer, dude. And they even now make like these things called virtual studio technology with Cubase and all this innuendo and stuff that you can really save a lot of time doing this. So then he's like, oh, well, shit. So he went out and he went to this is like some full circle shit. So he goes out, goes to Cyberdyne, the place where like I first fucking walked into, gets a computer built, brings it into the fucking studio. We park it up, put some fucking monitors up on the console so we can use a computer while he mixes and shit. And then he said, well, here you go, you know, like, fucking, you know how to do it, so why don't you take these DA88 tapes from this session or whatever and dump them into fucking Cubase. Fucking brilliant. Okay, there, now I have a fucking purpose, you know what I mean? Because I know something that fucking mix engineer don't fucking know guy. Now he's probably like, well, I haven't spoke to him in a while, but I mean, now that's probably his standard thing, you know? So it was a two-way relationship, because, like, you know, he knows a lot about, you know, analog stuff and EQing and how to use stuff as opposed to what the medium of it. And I could learn that way, you know, so I could learn signal path and, you know, real analog engineering and stuff like that, and how to hear for things and tips and tricks and shit like that Fruity Loops tutorials are not going to fucking give you, you know what I mean? Like I said, you can download all the fucking software you want, you can fucking buy all the plugins you fucking want, but if you don't know how it actually fucking works, really, then what's the point? You know, it's like, well, it would be like getting a self-driving P1. If you don't know how to fucking drive, honestly, what a waste of fucking time. So the thing is like I said, it's an exchange of knowledge in where you have an edge or something to give, you know, in exchange for something else. So, I mean, but that's fucking life. You know, you give money and you get money, or you get a service or whatever. So that was a really interesting thing. And then, you know, I just became the fucking ghost of Ground Loop Studios. I was always fucking there. I was just hanging out. I'm not making money there, and I'm putting, you know, my talents to work in terms of whatever. And then some guy from this band called Revenge of the Egg People. He had a CD out, and as far as I was concerned, these guys are fucking Motley Crue because they're selling music and they're printing CDs. It's like, holy shit, it's like manufactured. It's insane. You guys made it. Um, and they said, hey, well, like what you're working on back there in the other room. And I'm like, just fucking around with some, my own shit, electronic music, whatever. And he's like, oh, well, we should do a remix, like a bonus track. And I was like, really? No way. Okay, I'll try it out. And and I took their song. It was actually good luck if you find this one online. It was my first remix that I've ever fucking done, and it's out somewhere, but I don't know if it ever made it online. But it's fucking bonus points if you can find it. The band is called Revenge of the Egg People, and the song was called I'm Electric, and I remixed that, and that was the first body of work that I ever got done that made some kind of print. Now, mind you, it won't be a #1 by a long shot. But anyway, that was really cool, right? So now all of a sudden it's like, wow, like I'm almost a fucking stand on my own 2 fucking feet artist. So fucking ergo, go home, upgrade the computer, get an Echo MIA, which was like the fucking boss of converters for me. Bought a couple cheap piece of shit gear, like I bought a fucking MC303, which was like my life savings, and shit. It was fucking nuts, dude. And things evolved from there, and then when new software started coming out, like I said, like Fruity Loops comes out and shit like that, and Cubase comes out, and Ableton came out, and all that shit to me was just like a fucking joke, because you could just get in there, you know how it works, you know what this does what, and it's just fucking great. Yeah, thanks. Como Code just tweeted at me. It was the Karma K remix, because this was before Halcyon 44.1 kind of thing. Yeah, really weird. Is this it? Electric? I'm Electric, Karma K remix. Holy shit, people found it. Yeah, oh my god, that's hilarious. It is online somehow. Original release date, 2013? I don't think so, dude. Weird. Maybe they re-released it or something and said, hey, oh my god, what a dick move that would be. Oh, well, Deadmau5 is huge now. Let's put it out. I'll bet you that's what happened. I'm gonna call them. You fucking dicks. Now their album just goes fucking platinum. Fuckers. Anyway, it's pretty interesting how that happens. That's funny. Yeah, and like I said, I bought a bit of shit and a bit of software and just got to fucking work. Oh my god, there it is. Let's listen. I haven't heard this. I haven't heard this track in at least 10 years. This should be interesting. Oh my god, everyone's like, found it! I found it! Oh, this video's unavailable. Hang on, maybe I got a wrong link. Dude, I can't. It says it's this video's not available. It's not like an amazing track. I mean, considering that was done with 0 fucking gear, the oldest fucking software imaginable. I remember I used Hammerhead to do the drum backing and just kept layering, and I didn't even use a fucking DAW really. I just kept cutting, like, I did it in SoundForge, I think, where I had to cut loops and paste them and paste them and paste them over a period of time. Yeah, fuck, man. Why is it unavailable for me? Did it get pulled down already? It is on iTunes. That track is on my streaming service? Yeah, right. I'm Electric, Karma K remix. Wait. Dude, it doesn't even run this time, I guess. Quick time, slow time, anytime, today time. Nope. You know what? Maybe how do I not have it on my? Oh, because it's 100 years old. That would be why. Yeah, Hammerhead was like a drum loop software, and I used a lot of Rubber Duck too because those partners, those 2 pieces of software just went together like fucking mayonnaise and toothpaste. So good. It is on Tidal. Holy shit, it's on Tidal. Go figure. Let me see if I can get it to play. Play in Tidal. There we go. So bad! Anyway, you get the gist. Oh, that's embarrassing. That was my animals. Sorry. Yeah, I did. I got it. That's so funny. Anyway, and then, you know, software came out, blah, 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 learn that, and then discovered the invariable treasure chest that sidechain compression is, and made Faxing Berlin and called it a fucking day. That's my life story. More or less. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, you know, whenever I'm like introduced to, you know, like new artists and stuff like that, I mean, can you really blame me for being a little like kind of, it's cool? And I mean, I'm not to say I invented the fucking shit, because I know a lot of fucking dudes that have gone through the exact same fucking process. You know, some did better than others, but that's just the roll of fucking dice. That is life. And, you know, but just makes me a little bitter when, you know, hey guys, I got this vengeance kick and a wood block. I didn't go to school for this. That's cool. Like, fuck, well, neither did I, to be fair. But like, I mean, shit. When you listen to your old stuff, that's the picture. Where did the name Faxing Berlin come from? That came from Max Graham, believe it or not. I actually wanted to call the track something really embarrassingly stupid because I thought it was a cool track. Like, I kind of had an ear for what was out there and all that stuff, and I knew that that was like kind of different, same enough that it would do semi well like on the market. So I thought that I should give it some really fucking stupid as fuck name. So I was gonna call it like Drop the Bomb, the XX Extreme Mix, and like something really ugly. And me and Max Graham were talking on AIM at the time, and we were going back and forth and trying to outdo one another in the worst name possible for this track. So, like somewhere in that conversation, he's like, "Hang on, I gotta go fax this stuff over to Berlin," and he took too long. So by the time he came back, before I uploaded it, I just called it Faxing Berlin and uploaded it. And then he came back, and I was like, "Yeah, I just called it Faxing Berlin. Fuck it." And he was like, "Oh, okay, whatever. That's cool." And then turns out like it's like one of these like kind of signature tracks of mine. I was like, I should have named it something else. So yeah. So that's how that all came to be. This Deadmau5 stream is just full of Martin Garrix burns. I can't even say Cruella anymore. I mean, it's just fucking, it's so overdone. Oh, just talked to TriCaster this morning on the dia. Oh, okay, I can't say that. Source is always best. Oh, good. About fucking time, TriCaster. Jesus, way to play along with everyone else. Fuck. It's like 2015, bro. Do you even future? Yeah, you know what? Like, I might as well just update it. Maybe, well, like, freshen it up a bit. Keep it similar, but just give it a new sound because, like I said, Faxing Berlin was done in a basement bedroom apartment. Like, I mean, still, not to say that, you know, you can't make music, you know, with a bedroom and you have to have a fucking studio. That's not my gripe, but I mean, it might be a different story if you're making $500,000 a show for pressing play on a fucking CD and you still produce on a goddamn fucking laptop. But having said that, of course, not everyone in the world has access to amazing gear and can be totally capable of making good stuff on a computer in a basement bedroom compartment. Anyway, did that, and that's why I would want to redo it. you know, just run it, you know, because since then I've learned so much, dude, and you know, have been fortunate enough to have some really great audiophilic pieces of gear and compressors and synths and stuff like that, where you know I can substitute the lead with a, instead of it being some cheap, hastily written VSTI, I could use a really great synth kind of thing. So maybe I should rework Faxing Berlin somehow. Just give it a more of an updated sound, but not change the track, not remix it, just make it again.